if you're over the age of 40, you're probably not going to enjoy this next 20-minute video, but I promise you, if you see it through, you're going to learn some cold, hard truths that are going to help you transform your life. Now, I've been wanting to do a YouTube video like this for a while, where it's just me and the camera, real and raw, no script, no notes. Well, I was going to say no notes. I have 6 bullet points, which I'm just going to riff on this video that are going to help you transform your life. Hi, my name is Jay Alderton. I'm 40 years of age. I have worked in the last 15 years with over 15,000 people online, and my focus has been transforming and changing people's lives by getting them to understand that transformation starts from the neck up. You get your mind right and everything else follows. And what I'm hoping in this video is that one of these 6 things clicks and helps you to live a happier and healthier life. So let's get into it, shall we? Now, I spent a bit of time this morning really asking myself an important question. If you could summarize 6 pieces of wisdom which you wanted to pass on to somebody to help them change their life over the age of 40, what would they be? And this is exactly the first 6 that came to my head, and probably the most valuable ones. So let's get started with number 1. You're not too busy. It just hasn't broken yet, so you haven't bothered to fix it. Next door, my dad has half this building, and he has a security alarm installation company. And his best customers are people who have already been burgled. Now, what has that got to do with bullet point number 1? People only care about things when it's too late. When it comes to their health, that is definitely the case. Most people who come to me who want to make a significant change to their life have already had something really bad happen. They've either been injured, they've either had a negative problem with their blood results, or their doctor has told them that they need to make some serious changes to their life before it's too late. And it's true, we don't care about things that aren't obvious to us or haven't happened yet. But just because they have doesn't mean you can't do what I like to say, stack the decks in your favor. And this is the thing that you've really got to look at. Yes, you might be in good health now. Yes, you might not be doing stretching, eating healthily, minimizing your alcohol, exercising regularly, because you haven't seen the negative consequences of not doing so. But I'm telling you now, you will do if you don't make those changes. And I'm a massive fan of quotes. You'll hear me say them all the time on my content, but an ounce of prevention is definitely worth a pound of cure. And just because you're not fucked now doesn't mean that you're not going to be fucked down the road. And the mental model that I have with this is always looking at my 70-year-old self and imagining that if that person was in a mirror, what would they be saying to me? Would they be saying, "Good job, Jay, keep going"? Or would they be saying, "Fuck you, Jay, what are you doing to me?" And that is the reality that hopefully every person watching and listening to this is going to make it to 70 years of age. And if you are in your 40s now, how you're going to live your life at that 70 years of age is down to the things that you do now. Now, of course, there's lots of things outside of your control, but there is a lot of things that are inside your control. And just because you're not broken right now doesn't mean that you don't start thinking about stacking the decks in your favor and not needing to fix something later on down the road. So number 1, you're not too busy. It just hasn't broken yet, so you haven't bothered to fix it. What is it that needs fixing? Your diet, your habits, your routines, your stress levels. It sounds very, very overwhelming, but every single one of you here should be focusing on spending a little bit less time on this, which will be one of my points, a little bit more time stretching and exercising, and a little bit more time drinking water and hydrating and eating just that little bit healthier. And that compounded over time will have a significant positive impact on every human being's life. Number 2, we spend too much time online. And I added this number 2 to we because it's something that I have been very, very conscious of over the last few months. Just how much time I spend online scrolling, looking at shit, and asking myself, why the fuck am I scrolling for half an hour on shit that doesn't matter? Why do I suddenly feel this rise in anxiety and overwhelm and that I'm not doing enough in my life? And a lot of it is because I am scrolling through Instagram Reels, I'm scrolling through TikTok. And the worst thing is I'm justifying it because I create content online and I'm looking for ideas. Now, that might be true for about 10% of the time, but 90% of the time, it's unproductive. I'm wasting time. I am spending far too much time online. Now, the internet is a beautiful thing. And one of the advantages that we have is the fact that we have an abundance of information at our fingertips. We can learn so much shit from our phone. But the thing that I ask myself is just how much have I learned from my phone? And how much of it has just been spent distracted looking at absolute bollocks online. And I think one of the most important things that you can think about is really looking at where you spend your time. Is it making you get healthier, happier, fitter, stronger, better in some way? Or is it just distracting you, and are you using it as a stress coping mechanism? And I think this is such an important thing that should be on the top of all of our minds, and asking ourselves, am I wasting time or am I being productive with this time? And I remember a good 10 plus years ago, working in this little studio on an industrial estate by a prison. This is where I first built my personal training business. I had a piece of paper on the top of my laptop, and it had this simple quote on it: "Are you being productive?" with a question mark. And the fact that it was actually on my computer and I'd read it every single day really made me a hell of a lot more productive. So taking that, it might be a good thing for you to put on as a wallpaper on your phone. So every single time you open your phone, it says to you, are you being productive? Because we need these signals these days to become more productive, because we are so fucking distracted, including myself. So number 2, we spend too much time online. The solution is have a social media free day once a week. Get some paper books and buy them and go somewhere and read, and consciously focus at least one day a week completely off your phone. Okay, number 3. This one's going to trigger a few people. Get to know your numbers, set minimum standards, and then fuck off your Whoop watch. Now, these are different levels, and I think they're important to understand that if you're not where it is that you want to be, you need a map. You need to know where you are and where it is you want to go. And this is very much the same for your health, for your finances, everything. But we're talking about health here. If you're not where you want to be with your body, with your health, you need to know exactly where it is that you stand. And for most people, it's about tracking certain things. For most people, it will be tracking their nutrition, tracking their steps, and maybe getting your blood work done to see if there's anything wrong there, any deficiencies or anything that you need to focus on improving. Now, a lot of people don't do this because they don't want to know the answers to those questions. And it's very much like people who are overdrawn in their bank account don't stick their card in the machine to have a look at what the balance is, because it's painful, because it reminds you that you're not doing the things, or you're spending too much, or you don't want to hear the negative consequences of your habits and routines. But every now and again, you need to do so, because if you're not happy where it is that you are, there is a solution to it by seeing these numbers. And they are going to be painful. They are going to trigger you. But then that is the first step to doing something about it. So for most people, track your steps, see how much your movement is at the moment. If it's less than 7,000 steps a day, focus on pumping those numbers up. When it comes to tracking your nutrition, most people don't track their nutrition. It's such an important thing that I say every single human being does for at least 2 weeks. And it's not about being obsessive about it. It's knowing whereabouts it is that you're fucking up. And if you track every single thing for 2 weeks, you'll know where you're fucking up. It's probably going to be the weekends. It's probably going to be that 8 p.m., 9 p.m. in the evening when you're tired, when you're hungry because you've skipped most of the healthy food for the day and you're just gobbling up shit. So track your steps, track your nutrition, and get your blood done. Look at where there is any deficiencies or anything that needs improvement there. And for most people, it will be a few simple things. For others, it might be quite a few big things. But it goes back to point 1. It's better to sort that shit out now than wait 10 years and it be something serious. Okay, so that's part 1 of the 3 of number 3, get to know your numbers. The next part is set minimum standards. Now, when you are in a good place, when you are at a decent weight, when you are getting those habits and routines in, it's not about obsessing over the numbers. It's not about tracking everything. It's about setting minimum standards. Now, for me, it's a minimum standard for movement. Could be 7,000 steps. It could be a minimum standard for weight. For me, if my weight goes over 205 pounds, I know I need to start tracking my nutrition more because I'm eating too much. And it could be down to, say, fitness levels. Can you do 50 push-ups in a row? Can you do 20 push-ups in a row? Can you get a certain time on, say, a 5K run? Have a minimum standard for these. And if you hit that minimum standard, then carry on what it is that you're doing. And if you fall below that standard, it means that you need to go back to measuring and managing things. So have non-negotiables, have minimum standards for yourself. They're going to be different depending on where you are in your health, fitness and productivity journey. And then the third and final one is fuck off your Whoop watch. Now, if you are in a very good place and you do have your minimum standards, sometimes you can measure far too many things. And I have been guilty of this, tracking my steps, tracking my nutrition, tracking my sleep, tracking. You become so fucking optimized that you forget to actually have a good life. You forget to say fuck it every now and again. And actually, those are the crucial points and parts of life which can be forgotten about when you're trying to track and optimize everything. And I personally, many moons ago, before Whoop became super popular, was one of those double wankers who had an Apple Watch and a Whoop. And this was about, 4 or 5 years ago. People used to take the piss out of me because I had 2 watches on, and I see so many people do it these days. I had a Whoop watch for about 3 or 4 months, and I just realized that it wasn't making me feel any better. Looking at the numbers, looking at all of these scores and numbers, it actually wasn't being as productive as I thought. It was controlling my life. And you do get to a certain level where if things are optimized, if you are in good habits and routines, you don't necessarily need to track every fucking thing that you're doing because it can end up being negative. And the whole fuck off your Whoop watch, it's not necessarily aimed at Whoop. It's all about too much tracking. Although if you have been wearing a Whoop watch and you live by your Whoop watch, maybe consider fucking it off for a little bit. Number 4, stop eating like a teenager. I work with hundreds of people and I've worked with thousands of people over many, many years. And it blows my mind how much people eat like fucking teenagers. People have microwave meals. People have these ridiculous sugary snacks and cereals and all of these things. And these are okay in moderation. But one of the things that you need to understand is the problem that we have with processed food in the UK. Over 60% of people's diets is ultra processed food. Now, the answer to that isn't remove ultra processed food from your diet completely. It's just take it down from 60% to about fucking 10 instead of, like most people, having it at 60, 70, 80%. And actually, when we look at your diet, when we look at how you track, everything is from a fucking packet, everything is instant, and there is no cooking involved whatsoever. So stop eating like a fucking teenager is such an important thing to do because so many people do it. Cook food. Eat real food. Not only will it help with your satiety levels, not only will it help improve your food volume, which will make you less hungry, not only will you get more nutritious food in, which will make you healthier and happier, it will give you a better life. The problem that we have these days is so many people are demonizing everything processed. They're like, you can't have that, you can't have that. And it's like, danger is in the dosage. And at the moment, people have too much dosage of shit. It's about minimizing things down and setting kind of a 10% of your diet to have whatever it is that you like, and the rest good quality choices. So if you are a guy on, say, 2,500 calories, have 250 calories a day of whatever the fuck you like, and then make sure the other 2,250 calories are good selections of food, quality meats, good carbohydrates such as potatoes, rices, all of the stuff that certain nutritional regimes say you can't have, when in actual fact you can. Fruits, vegetables, healthy fats, salmon, walnuts, almonds, dark chocolate, Greek yogurt, bananas, fruits. Common sense isn't common practice. Understand that with nutrition. And people have all of these quotes like only eat from the ground and all of this crap, but you know what is healthy food. You know what is good food, and you most certainly know what is not. So adopt this kind of 90-10 principle to your nutrition. It's the 10% which will keep you sane and the 90% which will keep you happy and healthy. Moving on to number 5. Get good at sleeping. Nearly every single person that I speak to is absolutely diabolical when it comes to their sleep. They use every excuse under the sun, and most of them are valid excuses. I have 2 kids. My son is 6. He still comes in most evenings, a lot less now, but he likes to sleep and do kind of 360 circles in between myself and my wife. Yes, it's difficult, but it doesn't make it impossible. And I think too many people are heavily relying on these excuses to justify the fact that they have really shitty habits and routines. One of the most important things that I say to people is it's not about having a good morning routine, which seems to be glorified these days, about getting up, getting after it. And, I'm probably to blame for that as well. But it's also having a good evening routine. And most people's evening routines are absolutely dog shit. Now, the reason being is that a lot of people, they have a really stressful day, then they have to deal with the kids, and they have what is known as revenge bedtime procrastination. So that is when you've had a shit day at work, when the kids have been doing your head in and they finally go down to sleep, you want to get some time back for you. So you eat lots of shit in front of the TV, you watch 3 episodes of, The Walking Dead or Yellowstone, and it's about midnight before you go to sleep. Then you do it all again the next day, only with much less sleep, say 4-5 hours. And this is the hardest thing to get out of doing, but also the most important thing. Go to bed early. If the kids have been a nightmare, if you've had a stressful day, the best thing that you can do is not watch 3 episodes on Netflix. The best thing that you can do is get a good night's sleep. That will help your recovery, that will help your mood the next day, and that will help you deal with any lemons that get thrown at you the following day. It's very hard to do, but think about this revenge bedtime procrastination because it's fucking you up. The next thing is have a good evening routine. For me, I'll give you some of the things that I do that work really, really well. Firstly, get out of your work clothes, change into comfier clothes, have a shower, get changed into those clothes. It will help you relax. It will signal to your brain that it's time to get out of work mode, time to get out of all the shit that happened for the day and time to wind down. Number 1 is that. Shower a couple of hours before bed, get in some comfy clothes, wind down. Second most important one, no social media after 8 p.m. Nothing good ever happens after 8 p.m. online, apart from you getting into arguments and you looking at shit. So make sure that you're not on social media after 8 p.m. The next important one is don't take your phone up to bed. I saw a meme yesterday, which I found quite funny, and I'm actually going to share it now. Even hopefully I can share it because it basically explains exactly everything that I just said right now. Okay. The meme is this. Can't seem to sleep. Let's see if the bright light of my phone containing all the information in the entire world held inches away from my face for the next 15 minutes manages to lull me into a peaceful slumber. This sad rectangle in your pocket is fucking up your sleep. And it's so easy to scroll in bed. It's so easy to get distracted. As you know, this thing is designed to distract you. And that 15 to 30 minutes, which you are looking on your phone instead of going to sleep, compounded over time is hours and hours and hours, and if not days over the year of sleep that you're missing out. And when we understand that sleep is probably the biggest game changer for our health, for our stress levels, for our longevity, for our energy, then not getting enough of it is a serious problem. So put that fucking thing down on charge downstairs. If you're worried about people breaking into your house or the fact that, a fire or have a phone, emergency phone or something in your drawers. Whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that this is not in your bedroom. Because what happens is when you have this on charge downstairs in your bedroom, you get bored. You go upstairs, you read a book, I read a book, and that's another strategy. And then I'm nod off. And it's much less painful nodding off having a paper book fall on the bridge of your nose than it is a mobile phone. So evening routines, hot shower, wind down, no social media after 8 p.m, no phone in your room, read a paper book, wind down, go to bed earlier. That will be a massive game changer and will help you get very good at sleeping. And finally, number 6. The common theme here is common sense isn't common practice, and it's something that I remind myself of. But number 6, stretch and lift weights. Now, I have been stretching every single morning for the best part of 4 or 5 years now. And it was hard to get into stretching, but now it's just a habit that I do. And I'm so glad that I got into that habit. I'm 40 now, and it blows my mind that there are people out there the same age as me that don't stretch. I really struggle to function properly as a human being if I don't stretch for at least 2 days. So how on earth you're doing it, I have no idea. Either your flexibility is elite level, unlike mine, or it's just luck, because it's such an important thing for your health, for your happiness to stretch. When you stretch daily, and it doesn't have to be a half an hour session, it can be just 5 minutes a day. It will help you de-stress. It will help loosen you up. It will help reduce your risk of injuries from in the gym to picking up a flannel in the bathroom. And that constant stretching, be it 5 minutes, be it 15 minutes every single day, compounded over time, will significantly improve your life. And the final thing that blows my mind is that people don't lift weights. Whether you're male, whether you're female, if you are not lifting weights at least twice a week, good luck in how it is that you're going to feel or look at the age of 70. There are so many health benefits to lifting weights. Other than just looking good naked, it helps reduce your risk of osteoporosis, brittle bones. It will enable you to have a better lifestyle when you're older. One of the things that we are focused on isn't just lifespan, how long you spend on this planet in total. We're thinking of health span as well, and how long do you spend on this planet healthy. And the last thing that you want is to have a lifespan of 90 and a health span of, say, 70, because that means that 20 years that you spend on the planet before your final day is going to be fucking miserable. And lifting weights at least twice a week is going to help increase that health span so you have a better quality of life. This doesn't need to be squatting 3 plates. It needs to be having some form of resistance. If it's 2 sessions a week, having a good full body workout that takes anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour, and putting it in your calendar as an appointment to yourself and to your health. Because if it's in the calendar, it gets done, and it is the most selfish thing that you can do. And the reason that it is that most people don't prioritize their own training sessions because they think it's selfish that there's other people that need their time. When in actual fact, if you continue to have that mentality and you continue to decrease down your health span, then those people that you don't want to be selfish to, you'll be being selfish to. And the reason being is that they'll have to spend best part of a decade, especially if it's your kids in their 40s and 50s, looking after you because you didn't prioritize yourself. So lifting weights, stretching is the most selfless thing that you can do for the others around you. Because when you are in a good place physically, mentally, emotionally, all the ease, financially, then that not only benefits you, it benefits those close to you too. So that is it for my 6 brutal truths. Number 1, you're not too busy. It just hasn't broken yet, so you haven't bothered to fix it. Don't wait until something's broken to fix it. Fix it now. Number 2, we spend too much time online. Fuck this thing off at least once a week. Number 3, get to know your numbers, set minimum standards, and then when you get to that, fuck off your Whoop watch, okay? Number 4, stop eating like a teenager. Take that 60-70% of ultra-processed food down to about 10. That's 250 calories for most guys, or whatever the fuck you want to eat for the day. And just make sure that you're getting that other 2,250 of good quality food, which which is good in quality. Number 5, get good at sleeping. Evening routine, wind down. Do not have this in your bedroom. Number 6, stretch and lift weights. It's a priority. It is a appointment to yourself as a non-negotiable if you want to live a healthy and happy life for yourself and others around you. That's it for this YouTube episode. Hope you liked it. If you did, please like, please subscribe, please share it to somebody who needs to hear these brutal truths. I'll be back next week for some more knowledge bombs. I'll speak to you soon.